Hey guys, good afternoon. It's RG here, live from RG Studio 360. And just a huge shout out to Eileen for the beautiful, gorgeous project she created earlier today. Now, if you missed the first part of the hop, make sure that once we're done with this live, you go back and watch the recorded version because it is absolutely amazing. I think you're going to be inspired to create some of those fun little journals of your own. Now, I'm going to have to walk you through some of my adventures today. Unlike Eileen, who's always prepared, I said, you know, it's about almost time for me to go live on the hop. I might as well put my project together, except for minor detail. It was the first time I had opened the Big Shot from the box in like forever ago, right? Because I haven't been die cutting for a little bit over a year. And so then I decided, I'm like, yeah, how hard could it be? And so then I'm looking at all my bells and whistles and just kind of a little behind the scenes. Oh yeah, I don't have plates long enough to cut the die. And so you're going to see me cut it here in two parts, mainly because I couldn't find long plates, because they sent me the machine and it has the long cutting board, but it doesn't have long cutting plates. So it's got the small cutting plates. But anyway, we figured it out, and I'm just giving you the real life crafty stories of RG, but it's going to be fun. I can't wait to bring it to life. A huge shout out again to Eileen. We are going to be doing a giveaway from our live. She sent me an extra one to send to one of you amazing folks out there. So we have a die as well as a pack of the board that I'm going to be using to create the project. So it comes in a pack like this. And so you're going to get both the die and a pack of the board to be able to bring your project to life and make amazing happen of your own. So today I'm going to go a little rogue. A little unusual, but a little rogue. And of course, here with me in the studio, I've got Miss G, who's going to let me know if there's questions or comments while I'm busy bringing projects to life or creativity to life. So we are going to do a giveaway. It sounds like what Eileen suggested is that we announce the winner on Friday just to give time to people who are going to jump on board and kind of catch the replay. We don't want to leave them out of the game, so we'll definitely give them the opportunity to jump on board and share the inspiration and or comment on it and be able to be entered to win the fun free die set. And I may even add a little extra funsies on there for you for joining us on our very first live hop. So thanks, Eileen. It's been super fun. Let's go ahead and switch over to my top view just so that we can talk a little bit about what we're creating. So again, you'll get a fun little note from Eileen herself in the giveaway, as well as her die. Super adorable. I played with it for the first time just a few minutes ago, and of course the mat board. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to be die cutting one of the mat boards as I create my project today. Now again, I did say I was going to go a little rogue, and I am going to go a little rogue. So I'm going to be using that gel press board to be able to print on my board. Sorry about that. It seems to be
it's trying to get in focus here.
It's trying to focus. Because I guess there's a lot of white going on. All right, so what I'm going to do here, I'm going to start off with adding some black paint. So I'm just going to add some black paint to you know, I get messy, I create a mess. It's a hot mess sometimes, it's a crazy mess others.
Well, they love that you go rogue, so just do it.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna go rogue here. Just gonna play with some designs. And so I want kind of like a black and white base to my, because you know, I had this super psycho killer crazy idea to create these mini gifts for my boys. You guys know, for those of you who know us, I've got nothing but boys. So I've got 4 boys, and a couple of them are quite older, and although they'll always receive the mommy and daddy toy Santa gift, they'll still be able to receive. Sorry about that, guys. I don't know if it's because it's moving or what. Is it moving? All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to use my plaid stamp to stamp on the background, and it's going to not, the whole point is just to give me texture, okay? So I'm going to stamp, and I'm going to want that color to move a little bit, and I'll explain a little bit of what that means. So I've got it. I'm not looking for perfection. I'm looking for texture. So I'm going to wipe this off, just because I don't want to keep adding paint. And I'm going to bring in another.
So Gina's asking if it's a glass or gel press.
It's a gel press. So I'm just going to keep wiping that off. And it's okay if it moves around. Remember, guys, I'm looking for the texture that this is ultimately going to give me.
So Patricia's asking, what's the rest of that story?
Well, you're about to find out because we're about to go live with it. So, so yes, Patricia, wish me luck because I didn't have boards long enough for the die because it's pretty long. Did I leave it over there, by the way, in my stamp room? I might as well bring it back because I don't.
What is it that you're looking
the actual? Oh, never mind. Just kidding. It's right here.
Okay.
All right. So I've got, and I'm gonna do another one down here, just because I'm looking for. I'm gonna see if I can add some fun embellishments from it. All right. So you'll notice that if the longer you leave it, the more it starts to separate. And I'll try to see if I can bring it in for focus. Well, here. So the paint starts to separate a little bit. And again, we're going for texture. We're going to play with a few different things. I'm going to go ahead and grab my board, which I've already kind of dirtied here a little bit, but it's okay. And I'm going to place that right there. And then with these other pieces, now if you want, you can press with a brayer to make sure that you're getting the best impression possible. Chances are you're going to get inky, you're going to get dirty, but you know, it's kind of how I roll. I have another piece of the board cut out. Yeah, I'm going to...
So Miss Jen Young is here with us.
Jen, aloha, Jen.
And so her question is, does the paint not dry while it's on the gel press?
It can dry, but it typically doesn't happen that instant. But it can. Absolutely, it can.
It's easy to remove. Right?
Yeah, it's easy to remove. Actually, this one's dried completely. Hold up. This one's not coming up at all. So I need to get a little bit of... I have the fan on in here.
So to answer Jen's
So
question,
yeah,
yes.
Jen, it does. See? I'm just going to spritz a little bit of water here to activate. That's so weird. It didn't do that over there.
So Patricia said she meant the story about the older boys and their gifts.
Oh, yeah. So you'll see it in a minute because I'm about to create it here. Hopefully, if this actually turns out. It'll dry. I have the fan on in here. Let me do the back side of this to make sure. Yeah. So I have the fan on in here and it dried up my gel press. So ultimately, what I'm looking for is the impression or the texture. So let's see if I get a little bit more of what I want.
What type of paint are you using?
This is regular acrylic paint. Spritz a little bit of water down here just so I can get the last print. And let's see if it actually did something this time. Yeah. So it just starts picking up that paint. And check it out. So we've got that texture that we're looking for from the printing. But we're going to go a little cycle killer on it because I want some darker edges. So I'm just going to grab some more of that paint. And I'm going to bring it in to my board. Now what's so great is that you'll also be able to move that color. So to add a little bit more of that texture, remember we want that texture in the back. We don't want to completely erase. And so I'm just kind of creating some lines and some yummy texture to the outside of my journal. I want it to be kind of grungy a little bit. Ideally, what I'm going to be doing with this is I'm going to gift it to each one of my boys.
Jen says that it looks like old buildings.
Yeah, it's kind of got a fun different texture on it. And you can just pick up the print. So ultimately what I want is to pick up the print and give me some more of that texture. Okay, so we've got some colored. I'm gonna wipe this off real quick while that top surface dries. And again, as you continue to play with it a little bit more, it adds some fun features. Now, of course, you can use stencils. You've got a million different options for this when you're using something like the gel press, or you can continue to keep grabbing texture from here if you'd like. That's always fun.
So we have Anthony here.
Hey, Anthony.
His question is, will you be sealing this, and if so, with what?
Nope, I'm not going to seal it. There's no need to seal it because it's just regular acrylic paint. So once it's completely dry, I mean, of course, unless you think it's going to get wet for some reason, it's not waterproof, but certainly it's just regular acrylic paint. So it's going to be perfectly fine for the purpose of our paper craft. All right, so we've got our base here. So ultimately what I want to do is I want to go ahead and do the same thing to the back, but this time I'm just going to add it direct to make the inside of my journal black. So this is just the best way for me to add color to the inside of the journal, unless of course you want to use printed papers. But because I'm going to be using printed papers for the inside of my pages, I didn't want to make it too busy. I like to have a little bit more rhythm in my project, and sometimes when you've got so much paper, it kind of takes away from the actual project itself. All right, so another thing you could potentially do to this particular piece, which I ended up doing, is I ended up coming with a wipe to remove some of the paint so that it's not perfectly black. Sorry for the out of focus on that. I don't know why it's trying to. I may be moving too fast or something. Too much of one color is driving the camera crazy.
It's probably like trying to keep up with you.
Like, what's happening? I see, but I don't see what. So again, we've got that solid. And again, you can see some of those wipe offs. So we kind of did a wipe off technique on that, so that we still see a little bit of the board. And then we've got the other side as well. And you can decide to go deeper with this color. So if you decide, you know what, I want it to be a little bit more on the grayer side, then come back in here and wipe a little bit more. And it's just gonna take away some of the white background and fill it in a little bit more. It creates a little bit more of that gray tone. But just be careful not to completely blur out that texture that we created with the stamp image. So see, it just kind of fills in a little bit nicer and it just looks fun. All right, so now it's time to die cut this baby. And we could potentially want it to dry a little bit more. It's not like wet, but you know what I'm saying. Let me just kind of wipe off my board here.
So they're commenting that you're brave on using white long sleeve shirt.
Yeah, I thought about
using
that.
Black paint.
I thought about that. Maybe a little too late, but
Debbie Dennis is like, yeah, it would have been all over my shirt.
all right, so clean slate it. I'm going to now use the Big Shot. Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun,
See if
dun.
I can do this. And I'm going to be using this super adorable wrapped journal by Eileen Hull. Super excited. Love the die. And I'm going to do it in 2 parts because, like I said, I only have small plates. So, and then I did send Ms. G over like, oh no, I need these plates. Can you please run over to Michael's or someone? But they don't actually have them. So, yeah.
Yeah.
So we're gonna die cut it
So
in
I just
2
had a
parts.
fun little drive.
So she's like, yeah. Anyway, I have a bad shoulder here, so let me.
Do you need help?
If you could just hold the machine for me. Oh, never mind, just kidding. Got it. All right, so I'm just gonna run this through. And I love the die. Now I'm gonna just actually push the bottom one down a little bit and then bring this guy over to die cut the other side. And that's how you improvise, guys. All right, so let me go ahead and give you that. And I've got my die, super gorgeous, love it, love it. Now it does all of the little dots and it scores so that you can create your journal. And I love that about the die. Now this one's still a little wet, but check it out. So we've got our die. Oh, I got it on the wrong side. So we want it on this side. So just make sure you have your pretty side up, because then you've got your journal with all of the dots on the side. And I love the texture that the outside of the journal gives me. So again, that was, we were able to get that from the actual gel press. So check out the beauty. And then of course on the inside, you've got that black. So I already have one that's completely dry, and I'm gonna show you here, because now we're gonna start to decorate the inside. The one I did just minutes ago, completely dry. Again, the black on the inside. Love the texture that was created. Look at that.
Everybody's loving that die. It's such a great
It's
great
such
die.
an amazing die. So I absolutely love it. I love that I can get it out of chipboard. Now I'm actually working on a quilted version of this because, you know, during the holidays, I love to play with fabric. I love to play with all kinds of fun stuff. So what I'm doing is I'm putting it on, I'm doing the fusible web, ironing the quilted piece of fabric to that, you know, whatever it's called, and then I'm gonna die cut it once I get longer plates. But okay, so let's go ahead and put this together. We're gonna stamp some embellishments on it. It's super adorable. I love it, love it, love it. And what I'm gonna do here is I'm actually gonna create some of the pages. So I've already kind of started that, and let me kind of give you some measurements, or the measurements that I use. Again, this is my first time playing with this, so if some of you are coming over from Eileen's page, you guys are like, yeah, we've already known this for a while, but it's kind of new to my peeps probably. So I'm gonna show you, so I cut it at 7 by 7. So this is a 7 by 7 square, and then I scored at 3.5, and I scored at 2 1/4, so that I can come up and create that folder look, okay? So I'm gonna have 4 of these.
What was the full size again?
7 by 7. 7 by 7, and I just scored it at 3.5 in the middle, and then at the bottom I scored it at 2 1/4. Okay, so that way it has my little fold up, and I've got 2 pockets that I'm gonna use. Now I'll share a little bit more. So remember, this month all of my lives themed are home for the holidays, and we're gonna do gift ideas, all gift ideas. No more Christmas cards, because we've been there, done that. And hopefully by now you've already created your Christmas cards. And I've got some printed paper from our friends over at Symbol Stories, who are always so gracious in sending me product to share. I love this collection for the holidays. And I've just pre-cut some printed papers to fit on the inside pages of my folder or my journal. So I'm going to do, technically, I'm going to do 4 of these. Super adorable. Now I get to do the inside or the outside because technically they're all going to be open. So since we're kicking off today with our amazing live hop with the super amazing Eileen, and we're creating gifts all month long just to showcase how we can bring our products to life, our craft to life in such an amazing way that we can add it to, whether it's a gift card holder, whether it's you know, a box to put a treat inside. So anyway, I'm going to create 4 of these, and they're going to be my pages. Oops, this is the wet one. They're going to be on my pages here. So I'm going to tie them up with a string through each one of the loops here. And so my concept or my idea for this, and I've kind of already done the others, just to kind of save me a little bit of time here. So I've got 4 of these folios that are going to fit right in here. And the concept is that I'm actually going to put photos. So I'm going to make one of these for each one of my boys. And just kind of photos that we've taken throughout the years. And each pocket will have kind of like a to-do or like a, I love this about what we shared this year. And then on the other side, I'm going to add a gift card. You know, just it could be anything. It could be maybe $5 for ice cream on one of them, and the other one $5 for, you know, maybe they want to go to McDonald's or whatever it is, and just kind of make it a super fun gift idea for my boys that I think they'll enjoy. And not just that, but it'll help them reminisce on some of those amazing times throughout the year. So the way that I'm going to close these up is I'm just going to use a handheld punch. And I'm just going to add a little knot to each corner. So I'm going to come in. So again, we have a 100-pound cardstock cover, and it's a little bit thicker. But I'm going to use it still kind of as a guide here, so that they're all exactly the same. And I'm just gonna punch those through. And then we are gonna embellish with a little bit more of Love Jack. So I love that set. It became available to the public this month, and because it was part of our card club. So super excited to have that on board now for everybody to enjoy. So I'm just going to do a double knot. I feel like it goes well with my Love Jack or with my lumberjack plaid look. Oh my gosh, I have to tell you another RG fail here in a second. Ay, ay, ay. It's been one of those lives. I can't even say weeks or days. It's just been one of those lives, but nonetheless, super exciting. So I'm just adding some of this rope to the ends here, and I think it's gonna look fun. All the fluffies, all the, you know, on the ends of my book, on all the various different pages. So I'm gonna pass this on to Miss G to help me out, kind of punch out the rest for these. Hopefully she was paying attention to the way I'm doing it.
Not really.
Oh, wow.
Well, I'm looking at comments here.
So again, real quick, so I punched the one on top, then that allowed me to guide my next one. Now I'm gonna come back and punch the one at the next layer, because of course I can only go through one, and then the last layer. just kind of becomes a guy. Or if you have a crocodile, you can do them all at once. But sometimes that thing is evil. And then I tie them together with a little knot. So while Miss G's catching up on that for me, yay, thank you. You're the bestest. Love you.
You want me to do this too?
If you can. I'm going to go ahead and grab my Love Jack. Just to add some fun embellishments to my guy here. Because again, it's going to be for the boys. I think it will be fun. I think they'll love it. I've got some of our super fun vanilla cream cardstock. Again, it's a little bit thicker. We've got 25 of our colors, and they're all absolutely amazing. If you wanted to, you can bring in, I'm going to go ahead and bring in one of the logs. I think they're great little embellishments to add at various parts of the book. So I'm just going to try to leave some room for us here. All right, we'll just start off with those.
So we have somebody here saying that you need a crocodile.
I have one.
We do have one.
But
we like to struggle, you know.
Yeah, the struggle is real. You know what? I have one, but God only knows where it is. I probably have 4, to be honest. But all right, so I'm gonna stamp this a couple of times just so that I can get some color in there, and super fun. I love this set so much. Especially right now, you know what's so great is the way that I designed it to be like, yes, you can use it for Christmas, but you can also use it for Valentine's because it's got some hearts and some fun, like would you be mine, blah, blah, blah. All right, so that gives us a nice deep impression, which we love. I'm just gonna add a little bit of color here. I'm gonna use pencils today. And it'll be nice because it'll blend in perfectly with But can you imagine just being able to create multiple journals for like your peeps, you know? I think that's super fun, and I love the die. Now what I don't know is, and I should have asked Miss Eileen, is if she sells it on her website. Like, where are my peeps gonna get the die? Totally forgot to ask that.
Well, she is on here, so I'm sure she will be happy to answer that question.
Yeah, like where can I send my peeps over to find the die? Because I totally, again, it's one of those lives, Eileen.
So it's in the Etsy store, and she actually added the link on here.
Oh, sweet. Gracias. Perfect. Yeah, I wasn't sure. So I'm just using Prisma pencils, and I'm not even gonna blend them in all the way through because I want it to look fun. I want it to look like, especially for the boys, you know, but you can certainly use your Copics or whatever you'd like to color with. And I'll show you here in a minute how I'm also going to use the printed paper to add a few more embellishments.
Well, I love this project just like everybody else.
I think it's so fun. Yeah, it's so wait till you see the quilted one, because I think you're gonna. I don't know. Are you guys quilters? Because I know it's not everyone. It's not everyone's favorite, but I typically like to work with fabric around the holidays and only around the holidays. Like I don't do it any other time. Is that weird? I think that's a little weird now that I think about it. But yeah, I do it only in the holidays is when I make, like, you know, wine bottle sleeves and just kind of different things. Typically just quilted projects that, you know, become a part of my stamping life. And that's kind of, oh, I kind of forgot about his. And that's just kind of the way I've been my whole life. Is
so
that
Eileen
nuts?
loves fabric, but not so much the quilting because that involves measuring.
I actually just do it for crafty purposes. So I don't do like psycho killer quilts. That's not, I don't do that. But I just do it so that I can make that quilt look for my projects. Like in this case, to be able to bring a journal to life. Okay, fine, I'll do it. To be able to bring a journal to life, I wasn't gonna blend it, and then I decided to blend it. But where did I leave my? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Maybe you can find it. So I'm just gonna cut this guy out real quick. I also love the idea of using the magnet to close your journal. But, you know, in my case, you know, because I like things to be a little bit more layered, I'm going to be using some fabric just to create a little tie. Thank you. Just to create a little tie. And I'll probably just come back and fill it with some fun sayings but I'm not gonna, I absolutely love the idea of using the board because it really allows me to use my love for mono printing or stamping directly onto the board. And you can also use paper, of course, but you know, again, I like to limit my paper to certain things like backgrounds or accents, not necessarily, not always just for just blends it in a little bit. Not always for to cover my entire book. I think sometimes that could be a bit much in my opinion. Just creates a fun little glow there. Just smooths it out. We had an absolute blast at the Cookie Exchange this past weekend. And I was so dying to show them the die and you know, kind of start playing with it, but there was just never enough time to make that happen. Most importantly, I was worried that that I would not, that it would kill my inspiration for what I wanted to make, which was this fun gift idea for the boys. Because then I get squirreled, and I'm one of those people, the minute I get squirreled, it is kind of really hard to come back to that. What was that idea I had again? Yeah. Bye, it went.
Bye.
It was here, and now it's gone. Somebody said, you write down all your ideas. Forget it. I would have an encyclopedia. They come at 100 miles an hour. And then I get bored, and then I'm like, no, I want something different now.
Sylvia Alba, she is mentioning she loved the printing or stamping on the cookies that you made.
Yeah, that turned out pretty good. Again, using my gel press prints. I think that was super fun because then I could stamp on the cookies super simple as well because they're a little bit softer to the touch. So, you know, you don't have to press too hard and you don't have to worry about breaking your cookie. And this idea too, of course, right? Because if you of course, you can always die cut it out of leather or plastic, you know, soft plastic. If you've got like, I think the other day I saw one of Eileen's lives and she did one with like, it looked like a placemat, you know, for like eating or whatnot. It looked like a placemat anyway. But I could be wrong. It was like really sparkly and pretty. And I was like, oh, that's super cute. I don't know what happened to my heart.
To your heart?
Yeah. Oh, there it is.
Here, before you use this one too.
Yes, gracias. All right. So this should be pretty dry, but to be safe, we're going to start putting our project together here. Now, of course, you can always come back and add more of these embellishments to the inside of your book. But remember, what's super exciting about all of our images that is when you purchase the stamp set, you also get the digital file. So if you wanted to enlarge it, if you wanted to bring it to life a little bit differently, you can always do that by adding a little bit more fun and pizzazz to your project. When in doubt, pop it out. We're going to pop this guy right out. Again, as part of that embellishments, I love the heart. I love the outtake. I'm going to bring that right to the top here. And I love that showcase on the ends, but I am going to go a little rogue. Do you know my little white? Is it on that side?
The white what?
My little container.
There.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, the way you split.
Yeah. Oh, and then can I get those books while we find that? Awesome. All right, so Ms. G went ahead and finalized all of these for me. Check them out. Look how pretty with the... So I'm going to go ahead and tie those in. Now that I've got all of my embellishments on here, and I'm going to come back and finalize the whole piece. But I'm going to tie these together with twine. Now, I know some folks like to tie them together with like stretchy rope. And I think that's cute too. But I want, I want the knot to be on the outside and not the inside. So I'm going to start with the very bottom one. And I definitely grabbed way more rope than I needed. And you can decide you want a knot or a bow. I'm just gonna leave it at a knot because I think it'll look great on the outside. So there's my first book. Check it out, look how pretty. I'm gonna add all 4 books, guys. So sorry if I'm making it a little long-winded for you, but I love to finish my entire project so you guys can see how it comes to life. Now again, if you like to use the stretchy, you know, material, then obviously you can go ahead and switch to that. I like the twine look. And I'm gonna offset the knots a little bit, but of course you can always move them around. Book number 2. And again, we've got all of these opportunities, and I think that's what's so fun because you can add, so when you open up to this spread, you have 2 different pockets. Then you can put photographs, maybe on both, maybe on one, do a little bit of journaling on the other. Check it out. So cute. 2 more, guys. Now, I am going to come back and add a few more clippies and crazies because of course it's for my babies. But I also think these are great like sibling gifts, like for your sister or for a really close friend. That might be really fun too. Just kind of photographs. You know, I'm all about the opportunity to create and capture and memories that you shared throughout the year, and you almost want to send them like a mini, teeny tiny yearbook version of that. And kind of like maybe you took a photograph when you went to a concert or when you went to the park or Disneyland or whatever, and you want to send them off, give them a gift certificate to Starbucks, or maybe you know you had that photograph taken at Starbucks and kind of like, hey, let's do this again, you know, let's spend some time together again next year. Check it out. Isn't that adorable? Now remember, our cardstock's a little bit thicker, so it's perfect for this, I think, because, you know, it just adds nice weight to your journal. I think. But I love dimension and I love the weight on my project. I believe you can add up to 5. I'm only adding 4 here because apparently I missed the 5th one. But you can always go back and add it, of course.
So everyone's loving this book.
Thanks,
it's
guys.
Super cute, fun idea, you know, to put gift cards and photos.
Yeah, I love it. It's the gift that keeps on giving because it's got a little memory of time spent and almost like an invitation to do it again. Let's do it again next year. And I love the strings on the side. You can add little charms to it if you want. So check it out. We've got our first book where again you can do, and so my concept or my idea here is that I'm actually going to add a monogram for each one of my boys. So I'll start off with a monogram like, hey, A for Andrew, and then I've got my book. So all right. So now I'm gonna bring my embellishments together here.
Christina Diet loves the twine look too. Like,
yeah, the twine, all the fuzzies. I'm gonna bring in just some white acrylic paint here because, you know, it's a little mixed media-ish. It's kind of my thing, my vibe. I'm just gonna bring in some white paint on the edges of my heart here, just so it can pop a little bit more against
Yes, Alex, she finally showed up.
What? What did she say?
She just said, look who finally showed up.
Wow.
Because she finally showed up.
Where were you? Oh, date. So I'm just adding some white to that. You know I'm going to splatter it. You know I'm going to come back and do all that, all my RG stuff. But when in doubt,
Pop it out.
I'm going to pop it out once more directly on to my book. And I kind of want him to go halfsies a little bit. Just kind of hang out. Oopsie. This is hanging out a little bit more than I wanted to. Just kind of bring him on there like that. I love this die, and I can't remember how I have them from, but
Curry Urbanch is in love with this
wait,
dye
where's
too.
my other one?
She can do a lot of different bindings with this dye.
I'm just gonna bring that right here on the end. Yeah, there's just so many different options. Now, before I add my ribbon that's gonna close this up, I'm gonna bring in a few of my things. You know, I go crazy, right guys? But hopefully that's okay. Just some of my, just kind of redesign my sweater a little bit.
Or your apron.
Or my apron. And of course I want to do that all the way around, but I'm gonna kind of wait on the rest until the front here is dry. Check it out.
So cute.
He's so cute. Just gonna help him up a little bit here. Now remember guys, you definitely want to share the video, comment on the video, enter to win a die of your own. We're going to announce the winners on Friday. It's going to be so much fun. I may decide to include a little love from Jack himself.
Well, Miss Terry is here.
Terry was the winner of our best presentation, guys. She knocked it out of the park. Psycho killer, crazy madness, gorgeous, beautiful. I loved it. Everybody else did too. It was amazing. And she was the winner for best presentation for our cookie exchange. Now I'm going to bring this up closer in a minute, so just you can see the texture that we were able to create here.
So somebody's asking here, shouldn't the knot be inside so it's hidden? So it doesn't show?
You could put it on the inside. I like it on the outside because I already had all these knots on the inside. I didn't want to add any more bulk because I'm still going to add my photographs and I'm still going to add and add and add, right? So, you know, it's totally personal preference, whatever you prefer. Because wait, I'm still going to make it even grungier in another minute. So just give me a minute. If you think it's not grungy enough, just wait. So I'm just going to make sure all my white, I'm going to come back and add a little bit more white speckles to the back. But check out the texture. I'm going to get really close.
I think everybody's impressed at how your sleeves are still white.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm still going to come back and speckle the back so that it's completely done. But now that I've done that, what I've done is I'm going to grab 2 pieces of the gingham or the buffalo print fabric, and I'm just going to create some slits here to create some knots. I just want to kind of knot these guys together. Apparently I'm having issues doing that. Just knot them together. cutie patootie little knot. And I'm going to bring that to my book. So I almost kind of want to tuck it. So that the knot's showing on the back, on the side, like, look out, yep, that's. And again, I'm just gonna like do that and that. And again, it matches some of the printed paper from the inside. I love the gingham look. It matches my background with the distressed little squares. And here, I'm going to tell you the story on this in a second, okay? Because it's a scary one. It's a sad one. But I'm just going to add a little piece of this pine as that little knot on the center.
So cute.
So I've got all my books on the inside. Love all the knots on the outside. You can you can add some charms. You can add some extras. I love the little knot in the background too. Like, check it out. I think I might want to go a little. See, the problem is if I go smaller, then when I undo it, it'll be harder to tie. So I'm just gonna leave it.
It's super, super adorable.
Do you guys love it? So anyway, I was putting the book together, guys. I was putting the book together, and I was like, oh, you know, it'd be great if I grab a little piece from one of the garlands in my chimney decor. So I'm like, alrighty. So I grab my. So I'm just gonna, you know, cut it off of my garland, just a couple little pieces. So I go snap, and all the lights turn off.
Great, babe.
So I'm like, ew, minor detail. I just snapped off the.
So now we have no lights.
So there's no lights on my garland on my chimney, but but at least I got a pretty little. At least I got a pretty little pine piece
little
for
your project.
For my project, which is absolutely adorable. Check them out. Love the die. Again, you definitely want to make sure you're following Eileen's page for all her amazing inspiration. Eileen, this was absolutely fun. I love the idea of doing our hop and getting to play with your die. I'm sure my community cannot wait to get their hands on it, as well as potentially win it for free. So make sure that you're sharing, that you're commenting, and that you're connecting a little bit more, so that you know never miss a thing, any type of inspiration. We constantly go live every Tuesdays and Thursdays with inspiration, and this month is all about gifts for the holidays. So I can't wait to continue to bring some of those to life. Any questions or comments?
No, just a comment here real quick from Eileen that she had super fun. She had a blast doing this. And
so much fun. We can swap to our top view, can you? Or are we... Are we done? Just so I can show you one more time the inside of our, or the journal itself. Absolutely fun. Using Love Jack, which is available now on our website. It was exclusive to our club subscribers, card club subscribers, but it's now available. Now remember, when you first buy it, you're going to receive the digital files in the email, and then eventually, you'll receive the actual stamps in the mail. So we typically ship out within 5 to 7 business days. So, so you'll receive your actual stamps, like the one I used today, but you can start playing with the digital files as early as tonight. So I hope you enjoyed our quick, fun little video. A huge thanks to Gel Press as well as Simple Stories for the awesome product that you guys give me the opportunity to play with. Again, an even bigger thanks to Eileen for the amazing opportunity to do our live hop today, as well as for sending me one of your gorgeous dies and giving me one to give away to our peeps. So good luck, guys. Thanks for sharing. Remember to continue to create and capture so that we can bring hope to those around us. Thanks again for joining us, and have an amazing rest of your night. Buenas noches.